Welcome to the Community Health Worker Hybrid Certification course. This video discusses presenting your lesson. Develop around the state of Texas directives as far as competencies for this topic area. As governed by the state of Texas, the learner-centered competencies we will address in this module are ability to share information one-on-one, ability to master information, plan and lead classes, and collect and use information from community people. By the end of this training module, the community health worker will be able to develop lesson plans based on the demographics of the target community, demonstrate delivery of individual and group lesson plans, and identify methods, tools, and techniques for assessing concept comprehension and mastery. Assessing your audience. The success of most presentations is generally judged on how the audience responds. You may think you did a great job, but unless your audience agrees with you, that may not be the case. Before you even begin putting your PowerPoint slides together, the first thing you need to do is understand what your audience wants. Try following the following steps. First, determine who the members of the audience are. Next, find out what they want and expect from your presentation. What do they need to learn? Do they have fixed attitudes or interests that you need to respect? And what do they already know that you don't have to repeat? Last, create an outline for your presentation and ask for advanced feedback on your proposed content. When what you say is what your audience wants or needs to hear, then you'll probably receive positive reinforcement throughout your presentation. Nods and smiles or murmurs of agreement, for example, will motivate you to keep going and do a great job. When your audience is satisfied, it doesn't matter if your delivery wasn't absolutely perfect. The primary goal of people listening to your presentation is to get the information they need. When that happens, you've done a good job. Of course, you want to do a great job, not just a good job, and that's where the rest of the tips can help. Once you know what your audience wants, then what's the best way to package it up and present it? Let's take a look at this teaching toolkit. Visual aids and prompts are an effective way of supporting and supplementing any speech or presentation. Here's a list of common visual aids and prompts and quick tips for using them effectively. Handouts should be passed out to an audience before or after a presentation to avoid wasting time and causing a distraction. Posters, photographs, or sketches can be powerful visual aids as long as the speaker maintains consistency between what is being said and what is being shown. In this section, you can also use diagrams, graphs, or charts, but just remember they should always coincide with what is being said in the speech or the presentation. Always stand to the side of a diagram, graph, or chart while facing the audience. PowerPoint slides should maintain and again present main points as short sentences and bullet points and should never be read verbatim by the speaker or presenter. Physical objects and props should not be too large or too small, nor too few or too many. They should always be relevant to the presentation or speech. They should always be checked prior to taking the stage to make sure they're working properly. Last, you want to keep it simple. Visual aids and props should be colorful and unique, but not so dazzling that they distract the speaker's presence. Never use visual aids and props as a way of avoiding eye contact or interaction with an audience, such as reading directly from your slides. In this module, you'll be creating a teaching toolkit for a presentation. In this teaching toolkit, presentations usually include an icebreaker, team building game, props, handouts, finding out what's the best format for this presentation, knowledge-based assessments or evaluation, a core message, leading questions, and presentation checklist. Let's take a look at the first 5. First, you have an icebreaker. So an icebreaker is a facilitation exercise intended to help a group move from beginning to the process of forming themselves into the team. Icebreakers are commonly presented as a game to warm up the group by helping the members to get to know each other. Again, icebreakers can be a way to just engage members to get to know them, or also it can be related to your presentation. You have your team building game. Again, this is different from your icebreaker. You can include this as an activity or learning activity within your presentation. It could be as simple as showing someone how, or showing your audience how to use a plate method. You have your props. Again, we just went over props. You want to make sure that you have everything in your toolbox that is needed for your presentation. That includes your props and your handouts. Next, you have your best format. It's very important to present your information, your presentation in the best way that your audience can learn. We just learned about our different types of learners. We have the auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. It's important to get to know who you're presenting to. Next, we have knowledge assessments and evaluation. You want to know how you're doing, correct? You want to make sure that you develop an assessment or evaluation. That's where you're going to receive your constructive feedback and be able to modify or alter your presentation the next time you give it. Core message. Your core message is basically the goal of your presentation. It's usually a sentence that's very powerful that summarizes your presentation and what you expect your students to leave with. Leading questions. It is important to develop anywhere between 3 to 5 leading questions. These can be discussion questions. They can be questions to check the understanding, to make sure that everyone is keeping up with your presentation and learning. Presentation checklist. In this toolbox, you want to make sure that you have a list of materials, props, handouts, anything that will get your presentation going, that you're able to put on the presentation successfully and you have all the materials needed. It's a good checklist to kind of go back to make sure you have everything accounted for. Presentation skills. So whether you're talking to a small group of people or speaking to a large audience, you want to make sure your presentation is memorable and enjoyable. Follow these easy tips to help ensure your speech delivers. Be prepared. Your audience is giving you their time and consideration, so rehearse enough to be confident that you'll leave a good impression. Start strong. Begin your speech with a powerful opening that will grab your audience attention, such as startling facts or statistics, an interesting story, or a funny joke. Be conversational. Avoid reading your speech word for word. Instead, refer to your notes or points from an outline to help your speech have a more free-flowing conversational tone. Speak with a passion. If you're truly invested in what you're saying, you'll be better able to keep your audience attention. Know your audience. Research your audience before you start preparing the speech or presentation. This can be finding out how they learn the best. What's their learning style? What do they already know about the topic, or what do they want to learn? When you know more about your audience and their expectations, you'll be able to tailor your talk to make it more interesting. Your audience will be engaged and satisfied, and you will willingly accept their applause at the end. Control mannerisms. Your gestures and mannerisms can help you gain the support of your audience, or they can make people uncomfortable. By far, the best way to spot your gestures, both good and bad, is to practice in front of a mirror or videotape yourself practicing or giving your presentation. Practice or replay until you have it broken down to gestures and mannerisms you can apply on. Here are some examples of some common mannerisms. Having your arms crossed on your chest, pointing index finger, fist-like gestures can portray defensiveness. Stroking of the chin, taking glasses off to clean, tilted head, putting hand to the bridge of your nose can portray reflection. Hands behind your back can portray confidence. Open hands, unbuttoned coat, sitting on the edge of a chair can portray openness and cooperation. Short breaths, tisk sound, rubbing back of the neck, rubbing hand through hair can portray frustration. Chewing on a pen, biting fingernails, poor eye contact, swaying, clearing throat, or your hands in your pocket can portray insecurity or nervousness. Controlled body language that reinforces your strength as a speaker carries your audience along with you to the point where they get your message loud, clear, and compelling. Don't chew gum. It's just unprofessional. And last, be patient. It's easy to get frustrated if you make a mistake, but remember that your public speaking is not easy. It takes time to hone your skills. Keep practicing and you will reach your goals. Appearance is important. What you say is more important than what people see, but looks count. Your appearance can encourage the audience to listen to what you have to say. Your presentation begins the moment someone recognizes you as a speaker, so be prepared. Be sociable in the activities that precede your speech, such as a meet and greet. Look pleasant and be engaged. Wear clothing suitable for the audience you are speaking to. Your appearance should blend in well with your content and the audience to which you are speaking. Your content can be overshadowed by how you present yourself. If your audience is in coats and ties, wear a coat and tie. If you are in a sweatshirt, you might even get a negative audience. Check yourself in the mirror of the restroom before you enter the meeting room to make sure that everything about you of your appearance is in place. Look confident even though you may feel nervous about your presentation. When you are introduced, walk to the lecture with erect posture. quick steps, and a smile on your face. Before you actually speak, look at the audience to make eye contact with several people and then begin. Rely first on great content, but these tips can help you reinforce your expertise with a professional manner and look. In this video, we reviewed assessing your audience, the teaching toolkit, presentation skills, and appearance. Place all of these skills today into your teaching skills toolbox. By the end of this training module, the community health worker will be able to develop lesson plans based on the demographics of the target community. Demonstrate delivery of individual and group lesson plans. Identify methods, tools, and techniques for assessing concept comprehension and mastery. As governed by the state of Texas, the learner-centered competencies we will address are ability to share information one-on-one, ability to master information, plan and lead classes, and collect and use information from community people.